Today, I'm going to show how I use AI-driven workflows to help me work on my GitHub Actions, as well as integrate with GitHub issues, do task tracking, and generally speaking, help use the tools that are available to guide the AI to the best outcomes. It's based on some of the techniques that we used in the last video around, includes memory usage with a memory knowledge graph. It uses the GitHub MCP server as well as GitHub command line bits and bobs. What I'm going to do though is the problem that I have is that whilst we have GitHub Actions running here and they're merging, that they run on pull request, the GitHub Actions here, they build and release, they're using semantic versioning and everything like that. But the problem I have is that we can't see the actual detail of which tests failed. You can sort of see that tests were run in here, but the problem is that we're not actually pulling out the test results properly and showing them in the GitHub UI. So I want to update the system, the code, and the YAML to actually do that. So what I've done is I've gone and actually created this issue. So part of this, I'll actually demonstrate how we create a task or a plan and how I'm going to have it actually update and track the plan in here. So at the moment, the plan is pretty basic. I wouldn't, as a dev lead, I probably would ask anyone who wrote this to provide some more information, but that's okay because I'm about to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and let's pop across into code. Here's Visual Studio Code. We're running GitHub Copilot over here. I've also got root code, but I'm going to use GitHub Copilot this one. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to say, we need to create a new plan. Let's go. Okay, so we are going to be working on this issue is to add the capability for the workflows to publish test results properly so they can be seen in the GitHub UI. Before we start, we need to create a detailed plan as per your instructions. Let's see how we go. I've got some Copilot instructions here. What they do is it has a bunch of information on plan structures. It should read the plan structure guidelines and everything. I try and keep the rules files linked out to other files because we might not always want all of the rules to be included because some of them are quite large and it's just eating up valuable context. So let's just see where we go. It's found the GitHub Agents YAML files. So the CI runs the tests and the release workflow just pushes the builds up to Docker. So we use Mocha for unit testing. This is it's an NPM project. This is actually, the project itself is the MCP knowledge graph improved, which is the memory system itself. It's the MCP. It wraps up a node app into a Docker container that can then be used by the LLM to manage memory, which means that it can sort of leave itself breadcrumbs and knowledge about what it was thinking at the time, so that way it can understand what's going on. So it's just run get issue. It's just read the issue. You can see here that it's read the issue automatically, and what I'm going to do is get it to write. All right, so it seems to be okay. It's got an implementation plan here that's written. Let's just see if this has been updated. Okay, it has, but the escaping's wrong. So I'm just going to get it to fix that. Okay, let's go here and say, I'm just going to paste the image in and go, the escaping, it might be a problem with the instructions. Maybe we can have it fix the instructions as well. Okay, let's just bring this in like this so we can see it update. There we go. Looks a bit better. We've had this problem before, and I did update the rules. It's sort of... So the rules did say to do that. I just kind of ignored it. Oh well, doesn't matter. Let's proceed. So we've got a checklist here. So let's now ask it to go on with phase 1. So let's first make sure that we get a branch for our issue. So we can ask it to do that. We could do it in here, but we can also, it's got all the information it needs to be able to create branches using the MCP plugins. And get started with phase, what was it? Task 1. Phase 1. Phase 1, yeah. All right, let's do it. We've got ourselves a... why don't I see the terminal here? Interesting. Broke it. Okay, where did it create that? Test results created underneath the root. Cool, that'll do. All right, and it's updated. It's ensuring that test results is not in, doesn't get checked in. Okay, now we're using JUnit Reporter for Mocha. That'll take the Mocha output, turn it into JUnit XML. Yeah, it's running the test now. Hang on, that might not be right. Or is it right? Oh yeah, it did. We got the test results. Cool. All right, so the AI has managed to get it all working locally. Now we just have to make sure that it's working as part of our CI. So it's just validating that it worked. Now it's updating the CI. See what it does in here. Cool. Publish unit test results, actions, upload artifact, test results. I'll do it in the release. So it's spotted that we're not running the tests across this side. So we should make sure that we do that. Yep, let's continue to iterate. This file is an integration test. So what it does is it actually fires up the Docker container and attempts to run the list tools command, which it actually creates a proper MCP client and does it over standard IO to just validate that it really is working. And it will just dump out the output to the thing. I can actually show you that. So let's just have a look in the makefile. Kind of edit that. Just let it do that for a second. Okay, that's interesting. I see what it did. So it's this makefile here. Oops, it's running. I just ran over the top. I accidentally ran something over the top of it and it didn't like it. So let's just maybe I'll just stop interfering and let it do its thing. Let's run. So this is the exact test command that would run inside the cluster. Now I've got Docker test results. Cool. Cool, that's beautiful. Much neater. All right. Docker test results are also being published. We're down here. Yep, Docker test results, cool. Publishing the artifact as well. Same thing in here. Yep. Docker test results, Docker MCP test, and publish the results. Cool. Okay, let's update. I think, is it going? Oh yeah, it's already done it. So I didn't even need to say it. It just read the rules file, and I was going to say update the plan and sync it to GitHub, but it's doing it itself. So let's just go in here and we should see that phase 1 gets checked off. Let's just wait. that's written the implementation plan. Let's see how it goes with writing the issue update. There we go. Cool. Check. Okay, what have we got now? Let's continue with the task. Running make test just to confirm that there is a failure. Cool. So it did fail, and it wants to check that it's showing up as failed. Creating documentation. Interesting. Pretty obvious stuff there. At least it's showing how to run it locally and everything. Looks like we're committing. Okay, push and create a PR with a good description. And we should get a PR running here any second. And then this should be running our build checks. And then we should see the test results pop out of this, hopefully. What's interesting is that we can ask the LLM to review the PR build and test to see if there are any problems. I've had some issues before, and it helped me iterate to figure out what was going on. It was an interesting problem that would have taken me a little while to figure out, and you found it straight away. All right, test results. Look at that. You can see them. It worked. That's great. It's very detailed. Very happy with that. 18 tests passed. Okay. Let's ask the LLM to go. That seems to have worked. Review the build logs and see for yourself. This is a demo because we know it's worked. We don't really need it to do this, but we can just demonstrate that it can do that. The run that's there. There we go. It actually pulled the oh no, that's not it. It can pull the full logs from the build. Okay, what I might do is I might just go up and actually let's go pull this up to main. Okay, pull up to main and check the release works. The only checks required are the build passes and the tests pass. So the PR should be sitting there in green. Yep. Let's create the review. They merged on it. Okay, that means our main build will be going now, so we can see this one. This is the release build. This will actually push things up into Docker Hub. Now this is interesting. It's died. Okay, let's see what it does now because it's going to detect that it's failed. So this is good. This means that we need some help to fix this. Oh, I didn't run this. Yes, but the other one didn't fail. So what are you doing? Okay, see what it does. Yeah, okay, so you'll need to push and create a new PR because we've got branch protections turned on. Let's just stop. Let's just use. Okay, we can just reuse the branch. We didn't delete it yet. I don't think we deleted it. The branch is still there. Interesting that it's already lost the context here. Like it just did that, and yet it already can't remember that it did that. I don't think it created a PR. Check that this passes. This looks good. Right, I'm going to merge it this time to the PR. Pull request, confirm merge. Okay. Check that actions are good. 42 minutes old currently, version 1.01. Let's see if it automatically pushes 1.02. Did just run. Oh, the tests did pass. I already see that. Working. Docker seems to push. Light it up. See if we've got a new version. Latest 1.10. It's actually done a 0.1 for us. I wonder why it did that. Must have been a feature. Cool. Okay, so let's go tidy up the branches, please, and get us back on main. Also, please update memory. Actually, we want to update memory first. That's very annoying because now it's gonna, because the memory is actually it's a file that gets written, and we want to commit it. So I'm not going to do that, but it does occur to me that we need a way to be able to add certain commits via PRs that don't get built and released, because updating the memory doesn't matter. So maybe that's the next thing I could work on. So let's just tidy up the branches, please. And we'll see if it ignores and see if it still tries to update the memory. If it does, I'll just undo the checkout. I'll just revert it. See, now these test results shouldn't be seen. It's all right. It was just that the ignore file changed when it switched branches, and they showed up in Visual Studio's UI, but then weren't actually committed. And now it's updating the memory. We've got a file. It's just dangling. We don't have to go and commit it via PR, but the problem is that would cause a whole build and everything. So maybe I'll fix that up next in the next video. So for now, though, what we saw was the ability of the agent to interact with GitHub. The way it's doing that. So this is the instruction on how it's doing it. So I've got mcp.json here. This file here's got itself. So this is the memory server. This is this project. So it can reference itself. And it's also got the GitHub MCP server. And I'm using an M file with an mfile.sample under here, where you put your PAT, your access token, and then it can just work. And the same thing, it can actually use the same file for both VS Code and Roo as they use different ones. But you can see here this is running. You can see it's got 11 tools. This one's got 36 tools, so they're actually up and running at the moment, and both using that same env file. So you don't need to sort of have PAT tokens sitting everywhere, and you don't need to commit them, and it's an easy way just to do it. So that works. There's also, if you have a look, if you're interested, you can actually come into this repo. So let's go into the repo itself. This repo, the one that we just did this demonstration on, actually has all of the prompt files in here. So it's got the rules file. So there's one for Klein, and there's one for GitHub under here as well. So the Copilot instructions. This then includes the, like for example, underneath the guides here, they point to these because you might not want it to have all of this in the context every time. Still a bit of an experiment that. Found that it's not following them as well as if they're all in the rules file. You can see here the memory MCP rules tells it what it should be doing with the memory and how it uses it. It would load this, and then that's how it just knew how to update the memory when I told it to. So that's all in there. They're all under those guides there. The rules files are there. So are the examples. So for example, the example here, you've got if you just load this and open it up in the dev container, it'll actually just work out of the box. You'll actually get access to the memory server and the GitHub server. Obviously, you won't be able to read and write to my GitHub to this one, but if you fork it, you'll be able to experiment in your own, of course. So that's that. Come along, have a play. Any suggestions? Let me know. Thank you for listening.